I feel proud to be here for the inauguration of the International Conference on Recent Advancement in Computer Science, Communication and Information Technology, which is being organized at PSIT Kanpur. It is my privilege to address some of the brightest young minds in the country. Technology is very much women in the genes of this great city. PSIT enriches this heritage of the city. I congratulate the Institute for organizing this conference. I am sure it will prove to be an excellent platform for researchers and professionals from India and abroad to discuss latest developments in various domains. I am sure you all are eagerly looking forward to exciting and fruitful brainstorming over the 2 days. Students too will have a great opportunity to learn from veterans. I once again congratulate the organizers of the conference and wish you all success. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Honorable dignitaries, distinguished PSIT management, respected directors, head of departments, and our beautiful gathering, we would like to welcome you all to the first international conference on recent advancements in computer science, communication, and information technology in association with IEEE. It is our extreme privilege to welcome the eminent panelists who are present with us today.
Let's start our first panel discussion, which focuses on creating a high-performance organization by revisiting the human capital system.
So to moderate the first panel discussion, I would like to invite on stage Mr. Debashish Roy. He carries an exhaustive experience of 14 years in industry and education domain respectively. Having pursued his engineering under the aegis of BITS Pilani, he subsequently completed his management course from SBS Pune. He has been awarded with Green Tech HR Excellence Award by Green Tech Foundation, HR Thought Leader by NHRD, and Best Internal Trainer Award by Kansai Narolak. So let's give it up once again for Mr. Debashish Roy, sir, GMHR PSIT Group of Institutions.
So we would like to invite upon the stage our distinguished dignitaries who are meticulous in their fields. So let us start by inviting our first panelist. Our first panelist is a highly result-oriented HR professional with a gigantic experience of 31 years in engineering and construction industry in the area of talent acquisition, talent management, leadership development, change management, and OD processes. He has served as head HR for various business verticals and possesses international experience as head of HR of Middle East and Africa region of L&T. A postgraduate in economics from Madras University, postgraduate in personal management and IR from Madras School of Social Work, PG program in HRD from XLRI Jamshedpur. He is also qualified in law and also a postgraduate degree in labor studies and MPhil in labor studies. Holding a doctorate in the area of leadership, he is an honorable member of Academic Council of Madras School of Social Work, member of Board of Studies of Department of Labor Studies, University of Madras, and member of Board of Studies of IMA. He has been a prominent speaker in various national and international forums and member of CII HR Committee, FICCI of Southern Region, and life member of professional bodies like NHRD, NIPM, ISTD, Executive Committee member of ISTD and NHRD. Dr. C. Jai Kumar, sir. I would request Gurcharan, sir, to welcome him. Let's have a huge round of applause for Dr. C. Jai Kumar, sir, Vice President and Head, Human Resources, Division Corporate, Larsen & Toubro Limited.
Let us invite our next panelist who has been working with Ericsson for the past 23 years in managed services, customer support, and other technology functions. He holds a degree in electronics and communication from IIT Roorkee and has a background in research and development and services in telecommunication business with an experience of over 28 years. His major interests are in the fields of education and music. He loves to spend time with the university students and has conducted many seminars for universities. He also has a keen interest in startups and is regularly consulted by the startup fraternity. So let us put up our hands together for Mr. Abhay Kumar Vaish, sir, Senior Vice President, Head of Business Unit, MSIT, ADM Ericsson Global India. So I would be requesting Shraddha ma'am to do the honors. Let's welcome him once again with a roaring applause.
Our next panelist is a subject matter expert in talent acquisition and specializes in campus hiring, operations, and brand building. With an experience of over 14 years, he is known to build strategic relationships with colleges and students towards establishing sustainable hiring channels. He is credited with the successful execution of National Talent Hunt, pre-joining hiring program, and Talent Next, FDP. Currently pursuing his research in the area of competency mapping to enhance employability skills of Arts and Science College from Bharati Dasan University. He believes in supporting richness and promoting diversity in Indian culture. Therefore, he is a helping hand to his wife to support handloom weaving communities to improve the demand for their work and create more opportunities. His main interest is to travel across the country and visit institutions, interact with the college management, faculty members, and career guidance units to understand the best practices being practiced to nurture the bright and right talent. Let's put our hands together in welcoming Mr. Lavanam Ambala, National Head, Campus Hiring, Wipro Limited.
I would request Gurcharan sir to do the welcome. Let's hear it once again for Lavanam sir. Our last panelist of the discussion has a vast experience of over 25 years. In his current role, he is building the organization that provides everyday happiness to each household in India. He has worked in various industrial verticals and has held senior leadership positions with Group HR, Tata Sons, Tata Teleservices, WNS Global Services, Bharti Airtel, Hindustan Unilever, and Pfizer. He holds a bachelor degree in commerce and is a postgraduate in business management. He has been a keynote speaker at various important platforms like CII, NHRDN, SHRM, People Matters, World HRD Congress, IIT Delhi, and other management institutions. He has also been recognized at the Great Manager Awards 2017 in the category Aligning Organization Vision, hosted by People, Business, and Economic Times. He loves to travel and enjoys various genres of music and loves singing. Let's give a big hand and welcome Mr. Colin Mendes, General Manager and Head Human Resource and Administration for Voltas Beko. I would request Shraddha ma'am to welcome Colin sir. So now I request Debashish sir to begin the discussion. The stage is all yours, sir.
Thank you, anchors, for the wonderful introduction. Well, at the outset, I, Debashish Roy, on behalf of PSIT management, would like to thank Honorable President of India, Honorable First Lady of the Nation, Honorable Governor of Uttar Pradesh, and all other distinguished members who have graced this wonderful occasion at PSIT. Indeed, we are deeply honored to have their benign presence here. Carrying forward from the conference theme, up next, we have a very interesting topic to deliberate upon, and I quote, creating a high-performance organization by revisiting the human capital system. So, by the term human capital system, or let's say revisiting the human capital system, we mean the kind of workforce dynamics which has been challenged owing to different factors like technology, demographics, diversity, I would say geographical diversity, and leadership factors. And there could be a host of other factors as well. When we talk about a high-performance organization, we mean achieving successfully the business deliverables, which could include financial goals, operational goals, and of course, meeting the consumer expectation. So to analyze further, we have an expert team of panelists, and I would like to thank everyone here, who will share their best business practices and insights amongst us. So, let me take you to our first panelist, Dr. C. Jayakumara, sir. And, sir, the first statement to begin with would be a generic one, but yes, of utmost importance. So, sir, with your varied experience, I would like to know what kind of workforce transformation has happened over the last decade. So when I say workforce transformation, I would mainly focus on the mindset of the workforce, the skill sets, the role clarity, and whether the workforce understands the business deliverables or not. So, over to you.
Thank you. First of all, we are HR managers. We are good in asking questions, not answering questions. With this caveat, let me, very often you all would have heard a story of a gazelle and a lion, right? Early morning in an African forest, a gazelle gets up and starts running. At the same forest, a lion gets up and starts running for the prey. Gazelle runs for the life and the lion runs for the prey. The gazelle need not run fast. It has to run faster than the slowest gazelle. So times are changing very, very, very fast. As he asked rightly, organization has to change. In terms of technology, I will not call it as a disruption, though it is used very predominantly. A lot of new things are happening to the benefit of the organization. Change in the people dynamics is changing. It's an 80-year-old organization. The average age of our employees is 27 to 28. Imagine an 80-year-old organization. Maybe other software industries may be much lower. And today, space is not a constraint because geographical mobility, we have operations throughout the Middle East, Asian countries, and some amount of Far East. So multiple nationalities are bringing in, so the culture of the organization has to change, right? And the skill sets are also changing because of technology. Introduction of even in our brick and mortar organization of construction, we use RFIDs, sensors, we use business intelligence modeling, we use artificial intelligence, machine learning. So set of skill sets has to change. So there is an enormous requirement to focus on the manpower, skilling and reskilling and keeping pace with the change.
So, in your the statement which you made, you talked about RFIDs. Basically, you talked about technology, which has played an important role in the transformation of the workforce. Well, when we talk about technology, it has touched each and every life, right? So whether we talk about robotic process automation or whether we talk about artificial intelligence, but don't you think, sir, this technological over-dependence, so when I say over-dependence on technology, is it not killing the natural intelligence of human beings? So are we totally dependent on machines and technology? Can we have your viewpoint, please?
It is not a luxury to have technology today, it is a basic necessity. For example, in construction itself, I'll quote an example. The huge amount of competition is there today, okay? Any organization, let it be L&T, let it be Wipro, let it be Infosys, organization exists for making profits in an ethical manner, right? Either you can make profit by increasing the revenue or reducing the cost, okay? Because of competition, people are reducing the cost. So you have to be more and more productive, more and more efficient in the function. A simple example of Delhi International Airport, which we constructed 6 years back or 10 years back, 2006-07. Now the same expansion, almost similar capacity, similar quantities, it is at the same price. Not that we made huge profit that time, but today, see, the prices of every material has gone up. So how do you, because of competition, you have to get it at a lower price. So if you have to remain in the thing, you have to improve the productivity, you need to improve the performance. That can be done only with the help of technology. So it is not a luxury, it is a necessity. People have to skill up. If you are not catching the bus, you will lose the bus and you will be out. You have to run faster and faster to remain where you are. It is like a treadmill. Be alert on technology.
Thank you, sir. Well, I would like to pass this same question to Sir Abhay, sir, because he hails from a IT sector. So the question is technology, technology, and technology. Is it not actually getting on to the employees? Are we not actually tapping the real talent of the employees?
Yeah.
Are we not making our employees more robotic? Are we not killing their natural way of thinking? Sir, your points, please.
Good. First of all, to all the students who are listening to us here, how many of you know which seed will make the best rice crop? Anyone of you knows here? If I'm giving you 10 kinds of seed, can you tell me which one of them will get the best rice? Anyone? No one? Wheat?
Come on, give it a try. Students,
Somebody, does anybody know? No. The answer is no. And it will be no. I knew that the answer will be no. The reason is, and if I had asked this question to a group of young men 300 years ago, almost every hand would have shot up, probably in a different language. Right? Skills required 300 years ago were very different from skills that are required today. Today, if I ask how many of you know Python, that's bad. Just 1 or 2 hands. Python, not the snake, but the language Python. Just a very few hands. I would have loved to see many more hands. Anyway, guys, just for your information, Python is one of the best things to know today. That is the thing on which everything is moving. But now to answer Debashish's question, why I asked you, is that the technology is changing, just as what I told about seeds 300 years ago. Today, you need to know a different skill. Unfortunately, it's changing so fast that it's taking what used to happen in 100, 200 years is happening in a decade or maybe even in 5 years. So, in most cases, the students that are getting prepared today, you wouldn't be successful if you do this thing that has been taught to you today or your seniors are doing today, because that will not be needed tomorrow. That will not be needed tomorrow. And that's the brutal truth. What is needed today, or was, what was needed yesterday, is no longer in vogue. We monitor, we run almost 30% of the mobile networks all over the world. And we used to have thousands of boys and girls who were watching all the networks, seeing what is going wrong, what is working well, where the site has gone down, and so on and so forth. Now, or probably in a couple of years, there'll be no human beings doing that job. So, what will happen to the people? You will all have to acquire new skills. They will all have to acquire new skills. Just as your forefathers did, it took a few generations to do that, you will get a few years.
Thank you so much, sir. Well, let me have a very different, I would say, a statement or a question for our next panelist. Moving on from workforce transformation to technology. Since this topic hovers around workforce or human capital system, one of the essentials of human capital system is how to keep them motivated. Now, coming to Lavanam sir, we talk about employees working under strict timelines, pushing themselves, stretched working hours, deadlines after deadlines. So there's an important concept called rewards and recognition. We call it R&R in HR parlance. So how, I would like to pose this to sir, what are the R&R initiatives or how best we have been able to reward and recognize the talent of our workforce in order to achieve a high performance organization? So over to you, please.
Okay. So, however, I'm basically from a recruitment team, and so like other dignitaries who spend a lot of time in engaging people, training and retraining, and so that's their core job. However, with my experience, what I can tell in this today's generation, gone are the days that you wait for 1 year to get recognized, get an award, all hands meeting, these kind of things. Today, the generation requires, in order to get motivated, this R&R with the content of getting them motivated every day. So that millennial, population is that workforce is keen on the more they will be motivated if you put a platform which they can learn every day. You give them a platform which they can experiment every day. So they themselves will get motivated and excited to do good job. And if you put them same job every day and every month, every year, and gone are the days that you learn Java next 12 years, your career is safe, that Java developers, our Java tech lead and Java module lead and Java architect. So today you learn Java, tomorrow some other technology and some other technology. So this technology is disrupting the workforce. So even the way we want to work also is different, and the enablements that we have to give also need to be different. The treatment that we have to give them also different. It's gone are the days that you have to come at 9:30 and you have to leave at 6:30. So they are not excited to do that, because engaging them has become a big problem today for HR fraternity and workforce management teams. How do I ensure that I engage these people? If you give them a work, 10 hours job, they're able to do it within 5 hours. Remaining 5 hours, how do you engage them? That's a new problem, just like the way how today the classrooms in the universities are facing the same problem. The people are asking, why do I need to come every day to see the same face, and where the classroom is not very exciting. So we can correlate the same thing with the academy and the industry. So the new workforce that is entering in the organization, we need to understand them such a way that how do we leverage them and how do we make them excite with the new technology that is coming. So one thing that I can quote, that enabling them with a lot of learning and putting them through the practical environment, so that these two things will always keep them motivated. And definitely the new ways of recognition is like enabling them to earn on their own. Like, if they are completing the task within 5 hours, in Wipro, what we are developing a culture that we have something called top gear, and we have something called top coder. So we put all these problems, which are generic problems on cloud, we are allowing them to give a solution. So they're happy because they got exposed to a new technology, new domain, new module, and they were always wanted to work in some domain, but organization couldn't give that the practice and technology which they want to work, because everybody we can't give VLSI, everybody we can't give ML, everybody we can't give them data analytics, but their interest lies. So when you putting an open platform, and why would somebody need to give a solution there? Because there is a remuneration already set there. You give a solution, one,
You have an opportunity to work with the technology that you always wanted to work. You wanted to give a solution that always wanted to give. By giving a solution, we always get motivated, get excited. So these are the new ways and trends that we have to practice in order to engage them, motivate them, and keep them happy.
Fine, thank you so much. When we talk about rewards and recognition, of course, Sir has talked about not only rewards and recognition, but also, to some extent, he has talked about creating that delight or that fun in the workplace. So when you know that you have a challenging role, when you know that you're going to be continuously challenged, you have a new thing to do, nowadays, this is a real delight for the workforce. Coming to our last speaker. Now, my question is very straightforward, and most of the audience, they come under the category of millennials. So my question is very simple. Gen X versus millennials. Older generation versus the newer generation. So when you have a diverse workforce to cater to in a business, spread across different geographies, how are we managing the aspirations of Gen X versus the millennials? And how do you integrate them to, in fact, co-create and be aligned with the vision of the organization? So.
So, rightly said, in fact, today's environment is so dynamic. We have changes in our workplace, we have changes in our workforce, and we have technology that's actually invaded us and actually brought us to where we are. Obviously so, I come from companies that have been long-standing companies that have got people who've been there for companies that are as old as 60 years plus. So obviously you have a large Gen X generation with there. And then you're also inducting young engineers from colleges and campuses that are coming with high aspirations, with a completely different world that they come from, a completely different outlook that they come from. And so therefore, the first important aspect is how do you attract them, okay? How do you help them believe that you're an organization that is welcoming? So companies that I've worked with before have been long-standing, like Voltas or Tatas or HUL, have been in the past long-standing companies. And so therefore, most of the processes are really set and templated in that sense. Now, in that kind of a situation, you obviously, as a person who's trying to facilitate this, you cannot have a one-size-fits-all approach. Yeah? You need to have more of customization, more of segmentation that is relevant to the population that you're catering to. A person who is 50 plus would be, or 55 plus, or I would say 50 plus would be planning his retirement. A person who is at the age of 22 or even at the age of 18, who's joining as maybe a diploma engineer or an apprentice or whatever, would be having a very different aspiration. His first biggest aspiration would be buy a mobile or to buy a car or to buy a two-wheeler. So you look at what each generation is looking for. And so therefore, from the organization perspective, you can't really just have a one-size approach. You got to segment people. You got to then look at what the aspirations are there as per the respective segment, and then you try and create a plan that is relevant and that fits into the organization. So looking at what high-performing organizations, and that's the essence of it, the high-performing organization would be one who's able to do the segmentation at the right point in time, put your best people at the place where you're able to get the more bang for the buck, and also ensure that you're able to deliver to the best extent. And so therefore, the approach of human capital will actually undergo that change. Yeah? The approach of human capital will be to be far more customized, far more inclusive wherever required. But there are certain challenges, and some of the challenges are, how do we manage a diverse workforce? How do we manage different aspirations? How do we manage different lifestyles of people? So there are various ways you could manage them in the format of, or how do you manage different career aspirations of people? So a youngster would want to become a vice president in 5 years or 7 years. Whereas, a person who's been like us, probably decades in company, have probably reached where we've reached. So that entire model has changed. And if you look at today, the power of the internet and the power of social media, people are able to see what the world is doing on the other side, or people are able to see what colleagues are doing. So if I've joined as an engineer and I'm able to see another engineer is like doing this, and he's in a much more better place, then my aspiration starts shifting. Yeah. If I'm joined a company as a graduate, and then I know another colleague of mine who was in my college is now posted in the Middle East or posted in another foreign country, and he's doing far more progressive work, again, the aspiration starts changing. So from an organization perspective, I think you have to start segmenting, need to start customizing. You need to start creating programs that are relevant to the person as well as to the organization. Because finally, we are running an organization, we want to be a market leader, we want to be a high-performing organization. And if we're not there, then we will not be in the race to win. And when I mean high-performing organizations, it's basically a comparison in a peer set of group of companies. So if we need to have them all to look at the overall vision of the organization. So despite you have multi-generations, let's say today most organizations, long-standing organizations have 3 generations working together. So you'll have 3 different types of, how do you blend them into one common culture? These are points that actually organizations and HR managers, and I think even leadership teams are grappling with today. So is there a simple approach, or is there a easy approach? I don't think there is, because it needs to be customized to the industry. It needs to be customized to the people that are there in the industry. It needs to be customized to the workforce that is there, yeah, and the dynamics that are there in the workforce. So this is my perspective in how best you can actually do that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing this wonderful insight. Before we end this discussion, quickly, I would like to come across to all the panelists, and it's a very common, I would say, the statement. We started with the topic, creating a high-performance organization. So, sir, quickly, one-liner, in your context, in your business context, what is it to be a high-performance organization?
See, as I read in the initial statement itself, I said, any organization today, unless it is for a social service or a charitable institution, it exists for making profits, right? So it has to become productive. There should be productivity should go up, performance standards should go up. They should constantly keep raising the bar, okay? In the process, you have to improve the capability of the people, increase the motivation level of the people, and ensure that it is happening, right? So the biggest thing is the purpose of the organization. What is the purpose of the organization? How you direct the entire workforce towards a common goal? How do you have an overall goal? How do you cascade the goal with the KRAs to the down below, measurable, quantifiable goals, and it is reviewed on a periodic basis so that we are focused towards that. And too much of hype is created between millennials and thing. We cannot have 2 set of rules, one for millennial, one for this in an organization, right? But certain characteristics are there. Their attention span is less. They want a challenging job. They wanted to. It happens. We are managing our kids also in the house, right? If you ask him to get a glass of water, he says, "You go and take the water," right? Whereas you ask him to, "I want to make a PPT, can you help?" He comes, sits with me and says, "I will do this." So look at their interest level, align the interest of the employees towards a common goal and carry them along with us. That's the simple.
Thank you so much. Sir, over to you, please. Your viewpoints.
See, to have a constant energy in the organization also means you need to have the adrenaline very high. This is probably, it looks very nice that you are engaged every day, but we all know that if you have a very high adrenaline every day, you age very fast, you burn out very fast. You've got to be very careful, in my opinion. There should be a very good mix of challenging part, yet something that keeps, there is a DC level, for instance, that should be there, and then there should be spurts there. And that is the kind of organization that I would like to see, because I don't think an organization where only running hard is concerned, and that's why most people quit after a few years at Wall Street. It is an organization with a high level of adrenaline. Most people, 99% of the people, cannot keep up with it for more than a decade.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir.
Echoing both the panels, I would like to mention an effective organization in terms of creating first. In order to be successful, the organization, it should not always look at the bright talent. It should always concentrate on recruiting the right talent, so that if they're able to understand that right fit for the culture and the kind of work they do and the kind of growth they want to look at. So that's where they need to go and hunt the human capital outside and recruit them. After recruiting them, and the high performance organization, you can call it, if they're able to, to the HR channel and workforce and the leadership, if they are successful in conveying the message clearly of the organization mission and vision, and if that every workforce understands that where are we heading, and that way they will be able to create a healthy and high performance organization by driving them towards this initiative.
Thank you so much, sir.
In my mind, there are 4 aspects. One is an organization that can deliver higher productivity. Number 2, an organization that can deliver increased sales. Number 3, customer satisfaction. And number 4, employee retention. I think if you've got all these 4 integrated together effectively, that constitutes an organization that can be effectively a leader in the marketplace, a leader amongst peers, and definitely for someone that other organizations can look up to as a benchmark to take forward.
Now, one thing I would like to add, if you miss it, it is not. Leadership makes the difference. You should have the right leader at the top, whether it is your company CEO or your BU head or a segment head. The leadership talent is very, very important. If it is not right, then the whole thing goes. And the organization should be ready to assess, and if not, okay, you should be in a position to move them out or to another function and bring in the right person to the leadership.
So thank you very much to each one of the panelists here. Thank you for sharing the insights and probably the practical insights. Of course, I think all of us, all the students here, all of us here stand to be definitely benefited. Can I have a special round of applause for all the panelists here? Well, there is an apt quoted saying which says, all well that ends well. So I want to end it on a sweet and melodious note. Now, I've been told by our worthy management that about Colin sir, he is a singer and he likes to sing. So can we have 2 lines of yours? And definitely we would like to end it on a sweet and melodious note. So over to you, please.
Well, I was not expecting this, but anyways. Okay, so I'll just give, I'll definitely do it on a sweet note, and I'll try and sing you just one line. This is from an English song. It's called Right You're Waiting by Richard Marx, and I'll just do the chorus, so it's just one line. So here goes. Wherever you go, whatever you do, I will be right here waiting for you. Wherever you go, whatever you do, I will be right here waiting for you. Thank you.
Over to the anchors, please.
Thank you all the honorable panelists for sharing their expertise and experience with us. I would request our Managing Director, Shefali Raj ma'am, to present the token of gratitude. Thank you so much, Dr. C. Jayakumar, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Abhay Kumar Vesh, sir, Senior Vice President, Head of Business Unit, ADM Ericsson Global India. Mr. Lavana Mambala, sir, National Head, Campus Hiring Wipro Limited. And our last panelist, the melodious one, Mr. Colin Mendes, sir. I request all the group, I request all the panelists for a group photo. Please come forward for a group photo, sir.
Let's hear it for our first team of panelists.